These days, it's more important than ever to be communicating with your patients. Today, I'm going to show you how to send a marketing campaign using Dentrix Ascend and Mailchimp in just 5 easy steps. Step 1, we need to select the target segment. We need to think about who we're going to send this marketing campaign to. And to do this, we're going to start in Dentrix Ascend and run the marketing consent report. To run the marketing consent report in Ascend, go up to the home menu and click the arrow. Go over to the right-hand side and select Marketing Consent Report. Now, just before I load the report, an important note is that all the data shown here is made up. It's just test data that we use internally that we've generated, so no real patient information is being shown in this video. Once you load the report, you can again think about the target that you want to send this campaign to. The options on the left include the marketing consent option, whether they've opted in, opted out, or they haven't specified, their preferred contact method, and their patient status. For today's example, we're going to be sending broad communications telling patients that we're still open for business. So we're not going to make any changes to this filter. Instead, we're going to export as a CSV. So we go up here to the Export as CSV option. After clicking the Export CSV button, you'll get a pop-up like this which says Save As, and this is just choosing where you want to save the file. So I'm just going to scroll up and select Desktop. You could consider renaming the file, and I'm going to save. A CSV is just a file type that Microsoft Excel can open that will contain your data. Click Save. Now we're on to step 2. We've got our export from Ascend and it's time to clean up the data. Now once we've downloaded our file and we've opened it in Excel, we're just going to do a little bit more data cleanup as part of selecting our segment. So this is an important step before sending any marketing campaign. Make sure that you've got the right data. So I'm just going to expand the columns here, and we are going to apply some filters in Excel. So we'll just go up to Data and Filter. And firstly, you just need to do some spot checking. So maybe we can check patient status, active versus new. For now, let's just select active patients. So that's going to cut it down a little bit. And above and beyond that, I might just have a look. Now I can see some data entry here. We have Yusuf Dodson as first name, last name Dodson. So obviously someone's put the surname also in the first name. I'm going to delete that. Scanning down, I can also see Anthony Levine with a 1 in front. So especially if you're going to use a mail merge later on and personalize your emails, you really want to check and eyeball the patient names and make sure you get those right. And what I'm going to do next is, I don't want to send this to everyone, especially if they've been to my clinic recently. So I'm going to filter on the last visit date. And for that, I'm just going to do the last 6 months. So let's select the months as well. Maybe deselect all of 2020 from February, March, April, May, and June. So that means for anyone in January or earlier in 2020, we'll send it to. If they've been in the last 6 months, we will not. And if they had previously told us that they prefer to be called, I'm not going to send it to those people. But for people that are fine with email and text, since this is an email campaign, I'm just going to leave that on. Now there's just a couple more tweaks we need to do this data before we can move on to the fun bit of designing the campaign. And one of them is on the email field. So it is an email campaign. If we don't have an email address for the patients, then we can't send it to them. So we're going to filter by email. So turn off blank here. So that will cut it down a little bit more. On marketing consent as well, if we have got people that have explicitly opted out, we want to turn them off. So select off on that one. And the data is looking pretty good. We just need one more final Excel trick to save our new file. Now we've applied quite a lot of filters here to get the targeted list we want, but we don't want to import all of the people that we deselected. So I'll give you a bit of a tip on Excel here. If you go up, there's a little arrow at the top of the screen called Quick Access Bar. And we're going to find more commands. So select that. And we're going to go down to commands that we haven't done. Now, if you've done this before, you don't need to do it. If you haven't, you only have to do it once. And we're looking for a specific command, which is selecting the visible cells. So we're going to click add over here. And what this will do, it'll actually give us a new button right at the top, which is always there. And now we can click that. And it's going to select all of the cells that are in our current filters and none of the rows that aren't. So we're going to hit Control C on that. I'm going to create a new sheet and Control V to copy that over. And now you can see we've actually only included the specific rows that we just edited that are ready for us. So the thousands of people that don't meet our criteria, we're not going to be importing them and we're not going to be marketing to them. Just the ones that we want to. So I'm going to delete that original sheet. We don't need that anymore. Now we've got a clean file and we're ready to design our campaign. There are many marketing programs out there that you could use with your data file. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do it with Mailchimp. From here I'm just going to select create a template. Now there's lots of pre-built templates inside Mailchimp. I'm going to select one and go ahead and create the campaign. I'll just put myself on mute, so just sit back and relax. Now just for this piece I'll jump back in. If you want to grab your online booking website URL that you use with Dentrix Ascend, just go to Settings, Schedule Template, click Book on your website and just hit Copy and you'll get the URL that way. Alternatively, if you use another booking engine or your own website, you can take that URL. And back in Mailchimp, this is where you paste it in. Alright guys, we had some fun designing our campaign and now we're up to step 4, which is importing our contact list. Over in Mailchimp, we go under Audience and Add Contacts and there's an option to import our contacts. So from here, we're just going to select CSV, click Continue. Next, we're going to browse and find the file that we made before. After clicking on Browse, all we have to do is navigate to the desktop or where we've saved our previous file, our CSV, select the file and click Open. Now from here we need to do a little bit of data matching depending on which metadata you want to bring in. Things like date of birth, we haven't filtered on that, we don't need that right in Mailchimp today, so we can skip. So now that we've selected what we want and what we're going to skip, we can click Continue. Now here, it's a good idea to create a tag just to organize your contacts for later. You can tag them with the campaign you have in mind or another segment, depending on how you filtered them up to this point. And then we can say that they're subscribed. The good thing about tools like Mailchimp is they will keep your list up to date Obviously, if you send it to 1,000 people, there'll be a couple of people that don't want to receive those kinds of emails. And Mailchimp will automatically have a link for people to unsubscribe. So you'll be able to use this list going forward, but obviously you want to be selective in how often you market to them. Now we're all set to import here. I'm just going to stop before this step. Obviously, this is just for your demo purposes, but I will show you how to move on to step 5, which is to send and track your campaign. And finally, we're up to step 5. This step's actually really easy. We've done all the hard work. So let's send our campaign and track the results. Jumping over into Mailchimp, under campaigns and creating a new campaign, you're really just selecting the objects that we've already created. So in the to, this is obviously the segment that we created, the list, the audience. So you just edit the recipients and select based on the tag and the group that you created. You've got your from address, the subject I've put in there, and then in terms of content, when you click edit design, you can just select the template you've previously created. So once you've checked all of that stuff, you are good to go and you can click send. Now the dashboard of Mailchimp has lots of interesting statistics, but as we scroll down, you can see things like audience and campaign engagement. We're going to click view reports. And I'll just choose a campaign that we've done recently. We use Mailchimp to send our release notes. So just having a look at, this was actually for patient forms. We sent an email about patient forms. You can see the open rate, the click rate, your unsubscribes. It says it's doing really well. People are reading it. You can see total clicks, the 24-hour performance, and also the top links clicked. So this is where you would be looking for your link to your online booking in your email template where you said book now. This would show you how many people have clicked that. Then when you went over to Ascend, you could just tucked under here under the schedule, down the bottom there, appointments booked online. You can run that report across a time period and see how many people have been booking online. And effectively, that's how you can track your marketing campaign success. Well, we made it, and that's the end of how to use the patient marketing consent report to send an email campaign through Mailchimp. If you found this video useful, please jump onto our website ascendau.zendesk.com for more handy tips and tricks, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye for now.